Hello everybody, my name is Kenneth and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to be checking out the next song/music video in my DPR Ian journey, Limbo. For those of you guys that might not know, when I started my journey into DPR Ian's music, a very kind commenter gave me a list, an order of which to check out all of the MVs, and so I've been getting through them. Obviously, breaks and things have happened, but now I'm on Limbo. Before we get into this, I do just want to quickly touch on the live that Ian did yesterday. Yesterday, as I'm recording this, I just want to say, and I'm not saying that Ian will see this, but I just want to say to Ian, I'm really, really feeling for you right now, regarding all the things that you were talking about in your live. I'm sorry that you are in this space right now, and I hope that you're able to find the path that you're meant to go, and and things like that. But I didn't want to start this reaction without mentioning that. There was actually a part of me that was kind of with some of the things that Ian was saying on his live, that was making me kind of question whether I should react. If you watch the live, then you probably know what I'm talking about. But then I thought, because of what he said in the live, that I absolutely should continue my journey. I should absolutely continue, because obviously I do listen to music I've already heard in my own time. But I should continue this journey, because if there is a finite amount of time left with Ian as DPR Ian, Ian as an artist, whatever he decides to do, I feel like I should be present and still be able to appreciate the music that he has made during this period in his life. And who knows, maybe he will continue and he'll find that his path has him continued down this road. But yeah, I didn't want to start this reaction without saying that. And again, I don't expect Ian to watch this, but I just want to put out into kind of the world and into the ether that not just me, but so many of us are on your side. We are rooting for you. There will always be, because again, he was talking about this on his live, there will always be people that will have ulterior motives. I know myself and others we are here for you, for your music, for whatever you choose to do in the future. But again, I didn't feel authentic in myself starting this reaction and going straight into it, being all smiles and things like that, when there is something serious going on. Yeah. It feels really out of place to do this now, so I'm just gonna giggle in my way into this. But pause warning, if you are new here, I am a pauser. If that's not okay with you, you can go elsewhere. That is absolutely fine. I am autistic. I often pause in order to process my thoughts. Again, if that's not for you, that's totally okay. But without any further ado, we're going to check out Limbo. And I'm going to see and appreciate what he has for us this time. So yeah, let's go. I was never insane except upon occasions when my heart was touched, Edgar Allan Poe. I don't know that quote, but that's a very beautiful quote to start this off. And my immediate thought was like how the most logical person in the world can completely change when their emotions are clouded or like their emotions are affected. Interesting. Okay. And we've also got like a solar blue flame eclipse.
Don't waste your tears.
Okay, already. Especially given the fact that what I was talking about before the video started. That opening feels very, very real to right now. Um, um, which is, I genuinely didn't know this going into this, so that, but the timing of this is very, very pertinent. Sorry, I was trying to think of the word pertinent. I'm really loving, just to kind of keep focused on the music, I'm loving the sound. I'm loving the piano motif in the background. This is a very striking image. It's almost like he's being carried somewhere. He's also giving me, and this is, I don't know if this is intentional, it's reminding me a little bit of, is it Batman Returns? You've got these masks that kind of remind me of the Catwoman masks. The umbrella and the kind of the staging, is giving the Penguin a little bit from that film as well. I don't know if, especially the snow, because this if I'm remembering the film right, I'm not saying that that's what this is based on, but that's what it's evoking for me. But I'm pretty sure that, yeah, a lot of the film takes place in the winter time in like snow. Also, the piano motif, before I forget, was reminding me of the snow falling. Even the look, so I was saying Penguin earlier, but even the makeup look, is giving a little bit Joker-esque. An inspiration maybe. Interesting. It's also very interesting hearing him say about being thrown to the wolves, throw me to the wolves, throw me down to the wolves. But yet he's being revered by those people that are carrying him, because usually, again, when someone carries someone like that, it's often like ceremonial, it's often reverential. It's in reverence. I don't know if reverential is a word, but it's in reverence. And so it's interesting. Oh, that's really high. Wow. There's something so interesting about that vocal change. Yeah, just the way, I'm so sorry, I know I'm pausing a lot, as I said, pause warning. But the way he goes from that fuller voice to that real falsetto, it's really interesting, like, because I don't think confidence is the right word, but there's a confidence or an assuredness in the delivery of the first lines of the song. And then when we switch to this, it's not that changes necessarily. It's not that it changes necessarily, but it feels... It feels like almost like the end moment. Does that make sense? Like, the first lines feel like like when you're on a roller coaster, like you're excited, obviously I'm not saying he's excited, but like you feel a certain way on the way up, and then the middle minute that drop is right there, it hits you that you're about to drop, and it feels like that to me. Sorry, I often use things like that to explain my thought process. um but do you know what I mean? It's that moment, like, of before it happens to when the realization that it is happening, maybe. Oh, that just leave me into pieces. And then the way the music comes, oh. So this is almost like here where with the altar, it's almost like the altar's taking over. If we assume like Ian is the host, it's almost like the altar's here, like he's saying to them, like, take what you think belongs to you, but leave these two pieces, like these are, leave this little piece that's me, these two little pieces that are me. It's really interesting visually, him like fighting to put like the jacket on. It's like, well, it looks visually like he's fighting to put the jacket on. Yeah, sorry. The arrangement is also making me think of Multo, because Multo, from what you guys have said in the past, he's the one that really enjoys the cinematic strings, string pieces and things like that. And also earlier there was like a montage, and one of the montages was like, it looked like a claw or something coming out, being set of something and being set on fire. And it was almost like, again, it's almost like a fallen angel, which has, if I'm remembering, what we've talked about previously in the comments, I'm pretty sure you guys have said, and I think even I said, but we've agreed, the fallen angel archetype. I also wonder if the two pieces refer to mind and body and mind. Like he's almost saying, like, take everything that you think is yours and go. Like, please just give me my mind back, give me my body back. You could have the rest. I just want these two things. That's a haunting image in the back. I left my heart down in the basement, where all the ravens take their turns, picking at what's left of. I took you out of my existence, only to crawl back into your arms, knowing how much it will take away. I wasn't expecting that. I was just hit by what he was saying before, and then we got like, that looked like it was going to be a dance break, but like, this feels like that realization of, like, because he said before, like, take whatever, go away, blah blah blah, and it's like he's tried to cast them out, tried to go it alone, and then it's like he's had a trauma, he's had a difficulty, something's happened, and like he literally says there, he crawls back in their arms, because he needs them. This image of being in a basement with ravens pecking and pulling him apart, obviously we've seen in previous videos and things, the imagery of the bird-like imagery and things like that. But just having that visual of like someone lying in a basement, because you've got the isolation, you've got the references there. It feels like to somewhere that no one or very few people go, and you know where in some cases you might even push people away from going. It's not just that they don't go, it's that you push them away from you, in order to, I don't know, maybe given, you know, if we could take the trauma or the struggles kind of aspect, maybe he does that to keep himself safe, but then it leaves him at the mercy of these metaphorical ravens. It's interesting the monstrous hands in the background. It's almost like each one of these figures in the background are maybe one of his altars, maybe one of these maybe the metaphorical ravens. It's just it's a lot. And then the eye color changing. Yeah, it feels like it's almost like a conversation there between Maito and Ian. You know, you've got Maito starting it, and then Ian saying like, I took you out of my existence only to crawl back into your arms. Sorry, I didn't mean to press forward there. This is almost like embracing. This feels like a song where Ian and Maito, and maybe even by extension other alters, you know, that he's since learned about, maybe this is the song of kind of not acceptance, but starting to understand their symbiosis, maybe. It sounds like he's saying, like in the background, that little edited vocal chop. It sounds like it's saying, I don't think so. I hope this is taken as the biggest compliment, but I feel like this music video is to DPR Ian as Thriller is to Michael Jackson. Just from what I've seen already, if this feels like such a pivotal and inspirational, yes, but that's not the word I was looking for. Incidental. I can't remember the word, but crucial. Like, I don't know, piece of DPR Ian art. I don't know if anyone else can see what I mean there or agrees. But if you don't, or you don't, whatever, please know that I am meaning that in the most complimentary of ways. Do you think we're really dreaming? Oof, what a line to come back into. Um, into the song after the dance break. It's interesting here because what I was saying about symbiosis, this is a very symbiotic choreo. It's a movement of many parts, but it's a move. And so you've got all these different faces, and you can say those are the different altars and stuff like that, but they're all moving in a very literal sense here, moving Ian forward. And so again, it feels that connection between Ian as a host and the altars. It feels if what am I trying to say? It feels right, if that makes sense. I'm trying to word what I'm trying to say, but it's like you can't have. It's like for Ian, you can't have Ian without the altars. At least at this point, you know, he's admitted throughout this song, you know, that is the case, and so because of that, that's why it feels right, because it's like he at this point he needs that symbiosis to move forward, to continue on. Does that make sense? I'm so sorry. That quote is and the way it's being used in this video is exactly what I was saying in the beginning. The minute something happens that affects you emotionally, that clouds your emotional judgment, then you go insane. Then Ian goes insane. Then his alters need to, or feel they need to, take over to protect him, to move him forward. That refrain after the line after this, where it's "I'm running out of sand." We all know what that means, but that way of phrasing it is. I don't think I've ever heard anyone refer to that kind of thing in that way. Like whenever we think of time running out, yeah, we think of the hourglass and the sorry, my wrist. We think of a sand timer, and you know when the time runs out, the time, you know. But there's something even more helpless about saying I'm running out of sand. Like for me, it hits me even more than saying I'm running out of time or my time is running out or something, you know, that we'd expect like that. Especially when you're hearing, you know, you're seeing here him on his knees. He's asking all these questions. He's lost. And to be lost in space and, you know, not know where you are in terms of the world or in a physical sense, that's one thing. But to be lost and feel like you're running out of time, that's even more heartbreaking. And I'm connecting back to the basement line, being picked at by crows in the basement. again, you've got four walls, so you're in a place, but you don't necessarily know where that place is in relation to anything else. You could be in a basement in LA, you could be in a basement in France, Germany, Korea, India. You know, the external is completely irrelevant because of where you are. But that makes it even more isolating because there's a feeling there for me of like, would it matter if you knew where that basement came out to? You know, if you went to the door and pulled the door and went out, would it matter? Because there's a feeling of like it wouldn't matter to me. And so that's why he stays in this metaphorical basement. I don't know if I'm completely off base with that, but that's just what I'm thinking.
Can someone tell me where I took you out of my existence, only to crawl back into your arms, knowing it will make me go insane. Go. I left my heart down in the basement, where all the ravens take their turns, picking at what's left of. I took you out of my existence, only to crawl back into your arms, knowing how much it will take away.
Oh. Oh. And I think so. I think that this is Mr. Insanity, right? It would make sense, especially with the lead up. Where do I even begin? There. Okay, I think I'll start here because I was gonna say. So I've been looking at it as like a trauma thing, but like I said earlier, obviously emotions can be clouded in many different ways. And so I'm wondering if it could be trauma, but it also could be something, you know, romantic or something that's triggered this. And then the change up, I definitely feel like, yeah, I definitely feel that transition from Ian Multo to Mr. Insanity. I think what breaks my heart is coming back here. And it's not just because obviously we've heard the lyrics before. It's not just the lyrics, it's the instrumentation.
Heart down in the basement, where all the ravens take their turns, picking at what's left of.
There's like a block or something instrument type instrument, and it almost feels childlike. And so when I hear that and I hear the lyrics, it's giving this childlike vulnerability, this real softness and literally a heart laid bare, but like that kind of heart on your sleeve kind of feeling where he's just laying everything out. Um, this. So yeah, that's almost. So what I was saying earlier, I was talking about in the context of obviously Ian and Maito, but now obviously it's more Ian, and I feel like Maito is in there somewhere in this song. You know, in various places in the song. If to me it feels like it. I don't know if you guys feel it too. But obviously it is more. It's a more pertinent thing. It is more about Ian and Mr. Insanity here. Um, but it's if I'm assuming. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But it's interesting here that the difference. Oops, the difference in the looks from. I'm assuming this is Maito at this point. You've got Maito here, and then you've got Ian here, and then you've got Mr. Insanity here. And the way that like you're able to see that difference, if again if I'm wrong, please let me know. But the way if I am right, the way that you're able to see that difference, um, is really interesting. And also, I just realized like everything in the background is all distorted, and like liquefying, um, as reality is falling apart. It's very interesting. It's almost as well like this bed is like an altar, and then like when the ritual, if you like, the ceremony, you know, whichever verbiage you'd like to use, is done. You know, the bed looks different. You know, he's somewhere else. And I think again, it's like what I was saying earlier. It doesn't matter where that basement was. That was what was underneath this. Um, Even that there, the way he looks at the camera, there's a look of, yes, insanity, but there's also a look of, again, it reminds me of a child, like when a child sees something that they want to play with or they want to mess with, they just go and do it. It feels like that kind of look to me. Interesting. Yeah. Sorry, I don't know why when you click to go back to look through things, it just starts playing it. Sorry, because I like to do that as I'm talking. But yeah, I think seeing this at this point in time, I think is sadly very pertinent to, at least from an outsider's perspective, of what Ian is talking about a little bit, or what he was talking about in his live stream. I know that they weren't related, but I just feel like it's sadly coincidental how it feels. Um, um, as usual, the way that Ian is able to not only like show us visually what he wants us to see and what he wants us to understand, but also the way he's able to show us sonically. Like I feel like the dance breaks, as beautiful as they are there, and as well choreographed as they are visually, the way that they're used in the story of the song, and it's and the journey of the song. It's so intentional, and it's so audibly cinematic, if that makes sense. And again, even at the end with the more kind of dubsteppy change there, I think that was such a clever way of musically moving from Ian, Multo, and what, because obviously I assume for when this came out, this was the almost the transitionary period into Mr. Insanity. Literally the song. It's such a great musical explainer, if you like. Every frame in this is an art piece. Like I as I'm going through this, there's not a single for like this. I just clicked. I've just been clicking randomly through as I'm talking, because I like to do that as I'm. But like I just clicked. Beautiful. I click again. Another artful picture. Even this, the synchronicity of it, of everything. Okay, it's mid movement, so it's not like the the angel, the fallen angel, but it's still a snapshot. Does that make sense? I don't know. I'm just. I think a lot of my reaction at this point as well is just impacted by the fact that impacted by the what he said on his live yesterday. And there's so much in this that, again, it's not related to what it's not directly related to what he was talking about, but yet there's threads and things between what he said yesterday and things, and so it makes me feel a sort of way, like I said at the beginning. I think I said at the beginning, about like the finiteness, because yes, artists, things like that, music, journeys and things like that do come to an end eventually, but it's like, for me, it's that reality that could be happening. Obviously, like I said, I support, whatever path he chooses to go along, and where that takes him and things like that. But there is that there's that feeling for me, because of, I think if it was just a case of he was moving on, it would feel different. But it's the fact that, like, when I was watching and listening to him talk, there was a part of me that was so worried about him, and that's why, if that makes sense. Like, again, I don't know him personally. He doesn't know me personally. Never met him. He's never met me. But the fact that he's had such an impact upon me before this and things like that, and I just want to be able. I just wish I was able. If I was saying to Anitra from Say What Reacts during that live stream, actually, I was saying to her, like, it feels parasocial, but I just want to be able to help him. We were talking and things like that, and things like that about we were talking about, and it's. I still feel the same. I don't like to see anyone struggling, but I don't like to see Ian struggle. Um. So yeah. Um. I think. I think that's all I have to say for the time being. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please, if I've missed anything, if you've interpreted things differently, if my interpretations are way off base, you know, interpretations are interpretations, but if they're way off base, please let me know. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. And yeah, um, yeah, wishing Ian the best. Thank you guys. Bye.